Welcome to the Amdram Cam. I'm your host, Elena Bracken, and with me here today is Sam Tomlins. We've just done half the interview and I forgot to press the start button, so we're going to begin again. Sam, tell us a little bit about your music. I'm so sorry.
It's fine. So my music's kind of got like jazzy influences from like, because I learned jazz guitar and stuff, but then it's also got bluesy stuff, bit of indie. You know, I grew up listening to a lot of indie music in Manchester, you know, like Capture the Bottomman and kind of Peace, and then 1975, and then like obviously like Stone Roses and Oasis and all that jazz.
Yeah.
So like a lot of that's kind of moulded a lot of the music, Foals and stuff like that as well.
So we were talking about, you said that your sister did classical music.
Yeah, my sister played classical flute. So growing up there was kind of like a big divide in the house between me playing like rock music and then her playing classical music. So, but it was good for me as musical education because I was surrounded by her, you know, her sort of style of music and what she was into, and then also my parents had a lot of vinyls. So, do
you know what I was going to say as well? It's probably really good for you to have a musical family, or like a music obsessed family, even if they're not musically inclined, because a lot of artists, especially in music, as soon as you tell your parents like, I want to be a singer, I want to be a musician, they're like, oh god,
definitely,
you're gonna be at home till you're 50.
I mean, that is still a concern, to be fair.
Okay, we were talking about the north-south divide. I feel like that was a good topic, so let's recover that one.
Okay. Touchy subject. So I moved down to London when I was 18. I knew when I was about 16, 17 that I wanted to move down to London. I think because of how much music's down there, how many different, all the different genres and sort of this like cultural melting pot. And it was exciting. I wanted to be somewhere new. You know, I grew up in quite a small little village where there's not a lot going on. And then to go to a city where it's just, you know, you're just bombarded constantly. However, I think having, you know, I was down there for like 3 or 4 years. I moved back up north over COVID, which was fun. Then I've been in Brighton for the last couple of years. I did my masters in Brighton, and you know, I've kind of, you know, realised over the course of like 6 or 7 years the underfunding up north, which ticks me off. There isn't as much, there aren't as many opportunities given to people up north, and there's this kind of, you know, a lot of people know about artists down south, but they don't know about artists up north. And I've met some of the best artists up north as well, and it kind of annoys me that there isn't more funding for, you know, arts programs, you know, more labels, more people getting interested. Yeah,
wasn't there like a massive campaign over COVID that, pardon the French, really, really pissed a lot of artists off, because they had these posters that said I started as a ballerina and I retrained in graphic design or whatever it is. The madness is like, who created those posters? And what did everybody entertain themselves with over COVID?
What do you mean, like musicians and creatives and stuff like that?
Yeah, literally. So like when everyone was stuck inside, you were binge watching TV shows. Oh, guess what? Those are artists.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're so right. Oh, people are even on video games and stuff like that, and that's created by people who are
all artistic.
I mean, to be honest, for me, COVID was actually a sort of weird blessing in disguise, because I was getting furloughed, so I was just playing guitar all day and writing all day, really. So for me, it was like a nice little safe haven. So. And a lot of people hated COVID, but I didn't mind it too much because I just could write and play all day.
Yeah, I think it was a financial knock-on effect.
It was, you know, and at the time I was living at my parents, so I didn't have those.
Feel that.
I don't have a family. I don't have any financial commitments really. So I was living in a bit of a dream world.
You're kind of still in like a prime time position then. Yeah. Really.
Yeah. It's. I mean, being in Brighton, that's another thing as well. That it's so expensive down south, and it's something you know, constantly reminded of.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think it's really difficult. You know, I'm very lucky that I've got supportive. You know, my mum's very supportive of me, and you know, she'll help out, and she's always been like my sort of biggest fan. And she's like, you can do this, and you know, I feel like I've put a lot of work and effort into it, but you know, trying to pay for rent down there and having a car and just doing normal day-to-day things. But I think that's more a reflection of what everyone's going through at the moment. Everyone's just getting shafted.
So do you feel like from between when you were trying to pursue this up north and pursuing it down south, like do you see that massive kind of gap?
It's difficult for me to say because from about 18 onwards, I've been constantly going up and down south. So I've always felt like I've been here and I've been there in a way. So I've always been speaking to people down south / up north. But I would say I've definitely got more opportunities from being down south. So yes, it's a difficult one because obviously, you can't just say to everyone, "I'll just move down south."
Yeah.
And uproot your life. But I've gained more opportunities from it. There's no denying that.
Yeah, I mean, that's the truth of it, isn't it? It's like, you shouldn't be forced to make that move because there should be opportunities up north, and there really isn't. But there's some.
There is there is some definitely. Yeah. I mean, I know people who are doing music full time here, and that's great.
Yeah.
And I think I don't know if I'll move back up north eventually. I'm not sure, but
I have to know. Have you ever tried your hand at busking?
I have done it a couple of times. I'll tell you, the only time I actually did busking properly was it was on an open day for uni when I was 17 or 18. Right. I'd gone down with my family, and there was an event on. There was a rave on in the evening, and I was like, I had no money. I was a kid, and I said to my mum and dad, I was like, "Can I have a bit of money?" And they were like, "No." Busk, I'll do something. So at the service station on the way back from London, I busked and got my money for a night out.
Literally, you've just stopped at. That's so funny.
So that's the only. I mean, I've done it a few other times where I've been out and about, just sort of playing, but I've never actually properly busked.
Yeah. How much did you get from that service station?
40, 50 quid or something.
That's not bad.
It was all right. I mean, it was like a couple of hours, or like not even that. It might have been an hour or so.
I
was doing it right at the front door. I think it's prime time, and I think it's an opportunity buskers are missing out on.
You must have been doing well.
Yeah, apparently. Well, I got to go on a night out. All that, yeah. They were like, "Can you please stop, take some money, and just get away?"
Literally, yeah. Move on. So you've got 3 songs out at the moment, singles.
Yeah.
Have you got any more coming?
Yeah, I've got next Thursday, 29th, is my debut EP coming out.
Ooh.
Yeah, so that's fun. I was just on BBC Radio Lancashire yesterday, or 2 days ago. My bassist came up with me, and we did 2 songs live on air. For BBC Introducing. So
was that like nerve-wracking?
Yeah, for me it's the most nerve-wracking I get before performances by probably a country mile, because you're playing, obviously there's no one there, but there's people listening, and they get like up 150,000 listeners a week, so you're just thinking
there's a lot of people judging me.
If you mess it up, it's so obvious, and it was nerve-wracking, but it was really good. It's kind of in preparation for this EP next week, and then I've got my sort of big headline gig in Brighton. Bit of a track for people from Manchester to come up. Come down to.
Come up north, for God's sake.
I'm going to do. I think over summer that's the plan. Try and get some.
There we go.
Do some northern gigs.
Right.
Because I'm just playing up north. And
do you prefer to play to crowds then, right in the eyeballs, right there?
I think so. Yeah. It's just straight up in the. I think with. It's a difficult one because I've played as a solo artist with an acoustic guitar since I was about 14, 15.
Yeah.
I've done covers. I did cover gigs a lot as well. So I'm very used to just it being me on the stage. Whereas I had a band back in Manchester a couple of years ago with 2 really good mates of mine, and that was great when I played to an audience, and it was really good. But I think this time around it's going to be different because I've put I've been advertising it loads, we've been rehearsing loads. I've really put as much effort into it as I possibly can. So I think it'll be a lot more exciting, this one, and I think I probably will enjoy it more, having been gigging primarily by myself for 10 years. So it's going to be fun being with a full band and having that whole setup.
The whole experience of the live music, and the vibe from the crowd.
Yeah,
and that.
You feed off the energy of the crowd.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of playing live, isn't it? It's specific to that night, and it's what everyone shares in the room together. So
when you've played in the past, have you ever done it? So we have a lot of theatre on this show.
Yeah.
So have you ever done the way that theatre works, where it's you do a couple of nights back to back?
I mean, yeah, I've done gig, not necessarily the same place, but I've done it where I've gigged 3 or 4 days in a row. Sort of thing. So yeah,
if
similar.
You felt the difference between when you've got a good crowd and a bad crowd, and you're just kind of who am I talking to?
I think it's. I've noticed, especially down south, there's kind of people just constantly are wow, Northerners here for some reason, and I don't know why it's so surprising. We're in the same country.
Yeah.
But I think sometimes like people hear a northern accent on the mic and like, oh, like, and they're kind of gravitated towards you and they're interested, and
because we're so welcoming.
We're friendly. We just chat to people.
Yeah.
Like I remember when I first moved to London, like the pub I went to, like near my uni, I went in and like got a pint or whatever, and it was like £6, and I was like, what? God. But I was like, how are you doing, mate? How's your day been? Da, 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 da. And he just looked at me like with this blank face, and he was like, why are you talking to me? You could tell he was like internally like, what is wrong with you?
People are born and raised in London.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. It's like the soul falls into the pavement as they walk. Does that make sense? And then Northerners go down and they're like, you're too much. You know when you've got that friend who's just like too much energy and you're tired, you've not had your coffee, and you're like, shh.
Well, it's just like even little things like leaving the door open for someone, or just literally smiling at someone.
And no one says thank you.
No one says thank you, and they're all just looking at you.
What's up, guys? Like,
what is going on with that? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
P's and Q's. It's all we're looking for.
I know.
We don't need hugs. We just want, please.
Just be nice.
Thank you.
Just be friendly and nice. Yeah. I mean, that I have to say that is something that I miss so much being down south all the time. Just the kind of like the banter. You know, I think me and my mum were saying this the other day, like, because the weather's so naff a lot of the time up north as well. And it can be a bit grey, and that stereotype of being a bit gloomy. I think everyone's developed like just a wicked sense of humour from it, because you've got to like, you need to sort of laugh your way through the day and have a bit of a giggle. But I do miss that social aspect of being up north.
Well, there's like I think it's Icelandic or Slavic or something. There's called Hag.
Okay.
I probably butchered that because it's not English, but it's like it roughly translated means cozy.
Okay.
And it's the idea, you know how certain countries are like the happiest in the world, but they tend to be the coldest countries.
Is it?
Yeah. And that's supposed to be
you think it'd be the opposite, wouldn't you?
Yeah. So
interesting.
Ideally, that's the reason, because they have Hag.
One of them.
Something along those regions. So how do you come up with your lyrics? Is that like broken hearts or weed? I don't know.
No, I think when I was younger, I wrote a lot about like relationships and stuff like that. But then when I was a kid, when I was young, I used to be like obsessed with John Mayer, like really into him, and he's kind of like that. He got like coined this wishy-washy singer-songwriter guy when he was younger. He's all very like breathy and he's lovey-dovey and all this. And I remember being like, I don't want to just constantly be writing about relationships all the time, sort of thing. Not that there's anything wrong with that, and I still do write about relationships. But I think I kind of took a broader aspect to what I was writing about, and I thought I'm just going to write about everything that's going on in my life. And because
kind of Avicii, lyrics.
I mean, I've written songs since I was like 11, 12, so since I was quite young. And I think the way I process everything that happens to me and what I'm going through is through just writing songs.
That's healthy.
It is. It's very cathartic, and it is really healthy because it allows me to kind of, and you'll speak to a lot of songwriters, and I only know it from mates who are songwriters and people in this kind of world, if you will, but they'll do the same thing where it's like there's an issue, there's something that's bothering them, and it's kind of like you write about it, a bit like journaling or writing in a diary or whatever, and you write about it, and then once you finish for the day or you finish the song, it's kind of like you can just pin it to the wall and that's it, it's done now. And that's kind of what I've done since I was younger. So in more recent years, it's kind of been more, in this EP in particular, it deals with kind of like self-reflection and growth, and kind of dealing with
There's one of your songs that I was listening to. I can't for the love and money remember the name of it, but it was like Crazy or something like that. Lunatic.
Oh, Lose It.
Lose It.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just want to lose it.
Do you know what it reminds me of? I feel like it could be like a movie score.
Okay.
For the good guy.
Yeah.
Who's lost his shit.
I think that's a pretty apt description, to be fair to the song. Yeah, I mean the whole song, that whole song was actually I started writing it like the concept came to me 3 or 4 years ago after just a shitty night out in Bury.
Right.
Of
those.
And because I used to work in Bury, and then I basically the whole thing was like I was just in a bad mental health, whatever, just having a naff day, and I'd finished work, and I'd finished work the day before, and I knew there was a night out coming up, and I thought, sod it, and I just went out and just got absolutely blottoed, and that's maybe not the right thing to say or the right thing to talk about, but it's just like everyone does it, everyone's done it, and it's real, and it was just like I just wanted to write a song that was upbeat and funky, but it was just about going out and just getting pissed, essentially, to just forget about all the nonsense, all of that.
Very American Psycho.
Yeah.
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 Kinda.
Kind
Or
of.
like on the
In Bury.
road. Yeah, in Bury. You've ever, what's that pub called? Is it the Black Dog? Something like that. It's
trying
where
to
they
think.
sell dick kickers.
Oh God.
The shop.
Yeah, no, I do know what you're on about. What's it called? There's one in Bolton as well. I've been there so many times, but I've obviously forgotten. Cause
Someone will know. If you know, put it in the comments.
Oh, that's gonna really bug me
Yeah.
now. It's just off of Silver Street, isn't it?
Yeah. Where do I?
This is stupid because I've been in Bury for like most of my life, so I should know that. Blind Tiger, there we go.
That's it,
the one.
Blind Tiger, because they do live music there as well.
They do,
don't they?
yeah. I've gigged there a few times actually. They did
Yeah.
like, you know, the Glastonbury thing where people were gigging around and they do open mic nights and stuff. But yeah, that dick kicker shot is
This
criminal.
is a warning for that. Don't do it.
Yeah, just don't.
I was trying to be cocky. I was trying to impress a guy.
Oh really?
And I was like, I can do it because I was kind of mad at him. But I was like, I can do it. Like, don't tell me what I can and
bit you on
can't
the
do.
arse, I bet.
I had two back
You
to back.
had two?
I threw up
I'm
in the
sorry,
bathroom.
but you're just asking for trouble if you have
We
to.
nearly got kicked out,
Well, yeah, I'm not surprised then.
I was young and stupid
Yeah.
and impressionable.
They are it's the worst
spawn
drink
of
I've ever had.
Satan.
Yeah,
What
it is.
the-
It's
like-
awful.
Kind of like battery acid.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're not having.
It probably
if you have
had-
one, you're not having a fun night.
No.
No.
Night's
over.
Yeah, I'll have it and then I'm done. That's me gone. I don't know what happens after that point. So
Yeah.
luckily I don't do that anymore. Really, I don't really.
Good. No, yeah.
I don't drink as much.
I don't drink at all. 2 years.
Do you really?
No, not a
Nice.
drop.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
kind of getting. I did sober. Oh, what's it called? Dry Jan
Dry
this
Jan,
year, and
yeah,
like
yeah.
I don't know. Like I just kind of. I've had like a couple of drinks since then, but I've just been a bit like. And plus, to be honest, being down south, you like now, especially in Brighton, paying £7 or £8 for a pint in places. It's just like
You can't afford it.
What? I can't afford it. B, like that's just ridiculous.
Yeah, the
like,
only other option is like drinking at home, just like a couple of
yeah,
bottles. And, that's
and I don't
just-
really drink at home. Yeah, it's not for me.
Maybe if it's like a
If you got-
birthday.
yeah, if
Blue
it's a
Wicked.
birthday or you've got like family over and stuff, like a glass of wine's nice or
Yeah.
whatever. I get that, but I'd rather just be doing something else
Yeah.
personally. But you know, it's personal preference, isn't it?
Do you find that like, let's get on to it a little bit. So like when you're drinking alcohol
Sure.
and you're kind of under the influence, do you feel that hinders your artistic tendencies or it drives them?
I don't think it helps really.
Nope.
I don't think it helps a lot of people, to be honest.
It's like this kind of image in your head of like, again, I just go back to On the Road. You know
Yeah.
the book?
On the road.
On the Road.
Who's
the
that
book.
by? Is that like an old classic?
Jack something, I
Jack
think.
No.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know. I know.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
That's really embarrassing. You know what I mean? But like they did a film for it, but the film was.
Yeah.
And that was kind of like about this guy who just loved being surrounded by the crazies, and there was a lot of alcohol involved.
Right. Yeah.
So-
I don't know. I think I'm a bit sort of. I personally find that if I'm in a, sober state and I'm in a good routine, it's just like so on rock and roll. But like, I'm in a kind of going to sleep early and then getting up, being able to write for like half an hour to an hour, and
Mental health care
Yeah.
is the new rock and roll.
It is. There was the Kooks is Well, I mean, Matt Healy would probably disagree with that, wouldn't he?
Props.
That whole kind of thing, like, but like the Kooks. I was listening to an interview with them on Radio 1 last year or a couple of years ago, and they were all like, "Yeah, we used to be getting, like spangled when we were younger, and da-da-da," and they're like, now we all do yoga and are in bed by like 10, and you're just like, it is interesting the shift from like, and like smoking used to be cool, and now it's I was like, whoa, and not. But I'm kind of that same thing where I think I went off the rails when I was younger. I don't know about you, but when I was like 17,
really.
18, no, okay,
No, I
fair.
never really
just
had
me,
that.
just me a bit. Like
Yeah.
I went mental really. Like being out partying all the time and just I had fun and everything. But I think I just went so hard and just had a crazy few years that by the time I got to like 22, 23, I was just like, I'm a
doing
bit
it.
to be
Yeah,
honest
I want
now. I
slippers
don't want to have
and a
hangovers.
Horlicks.
Literally. So I've been at my grandma's this weekend, and it's just like she unfortunately didn't like the fire, but normally just have my slippers on just like by the fire.
Yeah.
Like, oh my
Nice and
days, like
cozy.
what? Oh, it's
Perfect.
nice. Like I'd much rather do that now.
Much rather be doing that than sat outside in February.
Sat outside in Bury after a dick kicker and you're freezing your tits off at 3 a.m. Like,
Yeah.
what am I doing with my life?
It's not life anymore.
And I think you get to that point where it's like, if you're having that like conversation with yourself, like, what am I doing? What am I actually doing?
Yep.
And it's like 4 a.m. you're just there like, this is just
Life
shit.
choices, questions. questioned. Like purpose.
Well, this has gone on a bit of a deep turn, hasn't it?
I know, yeah. Okay, let's go back on track.
No, it's fine, but like, I'm similar.
Final question.
Yes.
Amateur or otherwise, what would be your dream job?
What other than...
Anything.
Outside of music, I'm assuming.
Anything.
Anything.
Music included.
No, I think, being able to be sing-songwriter, get paid for it, but maybe a little bit better.
That's the dream.
That is the dream. And then also doing... having my own jazz project and jazz guitar.
Okay, tell the people where they can find your music and what's coming out.
Yes, so you can find me on Instagram under Sam Tomlins. My artist name is Sam Tomlins, and my debut EP is out next Thursday, 29th of February.
Voilà.
Not Sam Tompkins. There's in Brighton, not up north, no one seems to know about him, but in Brighton, he's from Brighton.
Right.
So it's called Sam Tompkins. Not very helpful when he's a very big artist.
Imagine not.
And then everyone's like, do you mean Sam
Tomlins.
Tompkins?
You need a stage name.
Yeah, well...
Tomlins is a good name, though. Sam Tomlins is a good name.
Thank you. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Well, there we go. Sam Tomlins, yeah.
I'll put all those relevant links down in the bio below so that you can go and check him out, because it's really
Thank
cool.
you.
And thank you so much
Thank you for
we
having
got
me.
there eventually.
Got there in the end.
Thanks.
That was so good.